Football, rising to glory as the strongest post player. Like, share and subscribe. Episode 1. A dazzling white light printed into his eyes. Li Qing instinctively closed his eyes. His bulging temples hurt terribly, and the huge noise stimulated the entire brain nerves from time to time, and the decibels were almost deaf. What's the fuck going on here? Didn't I drink too much on my birthday and take my girlfriend to the hotel to do something shameful? How is it still in the bar? Damn it, so noisy. Li Qing cursed in his heart and opened his eyes. But what was printed into his eyes was a dark face. The pair of bright eyes stared at him anxiously. The hot air from his black nostrils almost sprayed onto his face, and the white teeth exposed were like a beast. He subconsciously pushed away the black man in front of him and exclaimed, "Ghost. Lee, what's wrong with you?" "I'm Andrew Marcy, did you have a concussion? Can't you see clearly how many fingers are these?" the black man asked anxiously. Li Qing looked at the black man in front of him and felt very strange. The other party was all in English. He could understand it all? You must know that he can understand except for a few simple sentences such as how are you, how old are you, nice to meet you, etc., but he can't understand the rest. Did I? He usually likes to read novels, and he instantly thinks of a possibility. However, at this moment, a large strange but quite familiar memory flooded into his head, as if he had experienced it innately. Really? Crossed. Li Qing's mood became excited. As a traversal fan, he has achieved nothing at the age of nearly 30, and finally became a member of the crossing army. Word said, "What about my gold finger?" Li? Andrew Marcy was shocked and delighted when he saw Li Qing, and couldn't help but frown. Li Qing looked at the black man in front of him, and the memory in his brain reminded him that this person was the echelon doctor of Liverpool's Kirkby Academy echelon, named Andrew Marcy, a very good person, and one of the few staff members of the academy who respected the yellow race. At the same time, there were a few voices of concern and many schadenfreude in the ears. "Lee, how are you feeling? I'll just say yellow people are not suitable for football, right? Unbelief? It's silly to touch it casually twice. Ha ha ha, Henry, you're right, he doesn't deserve to play football at all. I fell into a coma after being hit by Remy, but it's very resilient. Let's say less." Li Qing looked at the familiar and unfamiliar faces. According to the memory in his mind, he could clearly call out everyone's name. The corners of his mouth twitched slightly, and he said in his heart, "I actually crossed over to the Chinese of the same name, and I am still a member of the Liverpool Academy. Should it be so challenging?" He is only nearly 16 years old and may soon be leaving Liverpool's academy. Professional football is brutal, and once young players who reach age are not recognized by their coaches in the annual series of assessments, it means elimination. Of course, you can also try your luck at other clubs. The young man who just angrily scolded his teammate is Li Qing's best friend in the youth team, named Curtis Jones, a native of Liverpool who joined the Liverpool Academy at the age of 9. He is a midfielder with great talent, so he has a very high voice in the U15, U16 echelon, and those Synekia's teammates have closed their mouths. Only Captain Rhys Williams, who has little difference in status to Curtis Jones, snorted coldly, "Waste is waste, just hit it and faint, or go back to drink." "Rhys, what do you mean?" Curtis Jones raised his eyebrows and suddenly became displeased. Li Qing looked up at Rhys Williams, who looked like a teenager, and information about him instantly came up in his mind. Like himself, Rhys Williams joined the Liverpool Academy at the age of 10, and his tall and comfortable ball handling and domineering leadership temperament made him the first choice for captains of all ages. He naturally discriminates against yellow people, and often uses his excellent body to bully the thin Li Qing on the court, so Li Qing will always have more bruises on his body every time he plays a team game. England's top league has already emphasized physical confrontation, and the echelon coaches of Liverpool's academy often emphasize that players must dare to physically fight and use their bodies, turning a blind eye to Rhys Williams' deliberate behavior. Thinking of this, Li Qing's eyes were more gloomy, and Rhys Williams was shocked in his heart. Rhys Williams quickly thought that Li Qing, who was often bullied by himself, dared to stare at him, and he was obviously stronger, and he was immediately furious. "Waste, what to see? Are you allowed to see it? Rubbish." Li Qing's face turned cold, and he stunned back. As soon as the words fell, he seemed to hear a voice of nothingness in the noisy environment. Traverser Li Qing has commendable courage. Activate the system and start detection. Hold the grass. Li Qing instantly became excited. What else did he say just now? Sure enough, there is a golden finger. Between the electric flints, a familiar voice came again. The potential host Li Qing meets the binding requirements of the Green Legend system. Request binding. Only a fool refuses. Agree to bind. Binding successful. The Green Legend system begins to load. Episode 2. All the members of the U15, U16 echelon of Liverpool's Kirkby Academy focused on Li Qing, and their expressions were full of incredulity. In the past, Li Qing gave everyone the feeling of cowardice. How dare he follow Rhys Williams, the captain of the first altitude in the team? Did you take the wrong medicine? Even Curtis Jones, who had the best relationship, felt surprise and had mixed eyes. However, to ensure the safety of his friend, he took 2 steps forward, thinking that if he found that Rhys Williams was about to make a move, he would stop it. "What did you say?" Rhys Williams froze for a moment, not expecting that Li Qing, who had been bullied by himself in the past and did not dare to speak, dared to talk back, and instantly felt that his authority in the team was provoked. He raised his fist to teach Li Qing a lesson, but Curtis Jones appeared in front of him in time. Rhys Williams raised his eyebrows and said angrily, "Waste. Just know to hide in Curtis? Do you dare to single me out? Heads up?" Li Qing said coldly, unexpectedly rolling up his sleeves. Who is afraid of whom? Having practiced Sonda before crossing, he is not afraid of the bamboo pole in front of him. Assistant coach Gavin Jess saw the parents and fans watching the team's training game pointing and exchanging ears, and immediately realized that the situation was wrong. In order to avoid escalating the matter, he quickly shouted, "Lee, is there something wrong? I'll replace you if you're not comfortable and keep playing if you're okay." After speaking, he said to Rhys Williams, "Rhys, you are the captain, don't see the other players in general, you know?" It looks like a scolding, but it is actually protecting Rhys Williams. "Got it, coach." Rhys Williams nodded obediently, then looked at Li Qing, and said strangely, "Some people, it's a pity. In a few months, he will be dissuaded." Li Qing knows that the coaching staff values Rhys Williams, and it is easy to understand that he can't help it. No matter what the field, it is the law of the jungle. In terms of football talent, Rhys Williams is indeed much taller than himself. At this moment, the system prompt tone came, ding. The Green Legend system is loaded, and the host automatically receives the newbie pack, ding. The starter pack has been placed in the inventory, please pay attention to check, ding. As the new owner of the Green Legend system, how can he endure the irony of a famous young player? Humiliate him with your feet. Make him deeply afraid of you. Host stimulation mission, humiliating stepping stones on the road to success with constant goals. Mission reward, a random talent draw and attention from Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp. Failure penalty, 20 ability points are randomly deducted. The continuous system prompt tone instantly made Li Qing fall into a state of confusion. Rhys Williams looked at it, grinned, and said sarcastically again, "Waste is waste, don't even dare to fight back. Rhys, you're enough." Curtis Jones stood in front of Li Qing and glared angrily at Rhys Williams. Li Qing put his right hand on Curtis Jones' shoulder and said gratefully, "Curtis, thank you for your help in the past. From today onwards, I want to let some people know who is persuaded to return and do not know." Although he did not name names, the U15, U16 echelon members knew who Li Qing was targeting. Rhys Williams was already small, and he didn't smile angrily. "Very good. Very good. Your assistant coach Gavin Jess clapped his hands from a distance and said loudly, "Little ones, take your place, get ready to enter the game." The junior players heard the coach's words, quickly took a step forward, ran to their own position, and waited for the resumption of the team's training match. Rhys Williams also walked to his own center-back position, but he didn't forget to sarcastically mock Li Qing as he walked, a thumbs up turned upside down. Li Qing raised his middle finger and pointed the needle at my Mang. With the system, would he not have heard of Liverpool Academy player Rhys Williams before crossing? Apparently not. According to Goldfinger novel convention, the newbie package is the cornerstone of the system owner's takeoff. Without system prompts, Li Qing silently said in his heart as he walked, "Open the newbie gift package." The newbie package is open. The system tone came again after 2 seconds, ding. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the talent, Speed Madness, ding. Congratulations to the host for getting a random gain opportunity for the Priest attribute, ding. Congratulations to the host for obtaining 10 5-star technology experience cards. The expression on Li Qing's immature face fluctuated greatly, because after the system prompt sounded, he could see the attributes of talent and experience cards, and excitement instantly swept through his body. Speed frenzy, speed gets a qualitative leap, sprint speed and acceleration automatically rise to the full value of the current body tolerable limit attribute data. Random gain of division attribute, after use, the system will follow the random gain attribute of the green field independently selected by the host. 5-star technology experience card, use the experience card to control the ball within 30 seconds. And any fancy move is at your fingertips. In addition to the goals, the most striking thing about the green field is the speed and physical confrontation. Obtaining the talent, Speed Madness, is already equivalent to having a strong degree of attention. The explanation of the random gain of the position attribute is quite clear, and he can independently choose the position on the field, so as to play the role of the random gain of the main attribute of the position. Choose a striker. Attributes like shooting, headers, smell in front of goal, etc. will definitely get random gains. If you choose midfield, you will get random gain in key attributes such as short passes, long passes, dribbles, organization, etc. If you choose a guard, you will get random buffs in the main defensive attributes such as interception, tackle, targeting, and stealing. Goalkeeper, It's hard to get Goldfinger affinity, How can you choose the goalkeeper's attribute gain? The 5-star technology experience card is completely tailored for the training match madness. Rhys Williams. Episode 3. Curtis Jones saw Li Qing's inexplicable lean smile, and the corners of his mouth twitched slightly. Should Li be fooled by Rhys Williams' central defender partner Remy Savage? Out of concern, he slowed down and waited until he was walking side by side with Li Qing and asked with concern, "Li, are you sure you're okay?" "It's okay." Li Qing waved his hand, indicating that it was okay. Thinking that Curtis Jones is the core of the echelon midfield, and the timing of the last pass is in place, he said, "Curtis, wait a minute. Can you pass me a penalty?" Curtis Jones nodded his head without hesitation. "I'll pass you the ball, but don't take the initiative to find Rhys or Remy like you did just now, you know?" "Okay." Li Qing gave Curtis Jones a reassuring gesture. Of course, he did this just to reassure his friends, nothing more. Rhys Williams and Remy Savage did not intend to let it go easily, because Remy Savage and Rhys Williams have a very good relationship and often use the physical contact of training to find faults. In the past, Li Qing was timid and afraid of things, and did not dare to resist, but now changed. The game resumed with the whistle of strength and conditioning coach Oliver Herbie, and echelon head coach Tom Cashaw turned to Gavin Jess, an assistant who was approaching. "Gavin, is that little guy alright?" Gavin J said, "There is no problem, I just don't know which of his tendons is wrong, and he dares to provoke Rhys." "Oh?" Tom Cashaw was interested and muttered, "Is it Scrappy again?" Before he took over the U15 U16 echelon, he served as the head coach of the U10-12 echelon, and Li Qing was a star player in Kirkby at the time, but I don't know why he has changed since 4 years ago and his form has plummeted. Football players have always emphasized individuality, although it cannot be said that the stronger the personality, the more successful the professional journey, but successful professional players often have their own personality. Li Qing, who was bullied casually, is destined to be unlikely to become a professional player. Now he openly provoked the team's first villain Rhys Williams, at least the passion that a professional player should have. "When I was a child, my talent was not weak, and as long as I grew up, I could definitely become an adult player who could play for Liverpool." When Tom Cashaw was too vague, the whistle suddenly sounded, and he fixed his eyes. Curtis Jones angrily rushed to Rhys Williams, and Li Qing, who was shoveled to the ground, stood up hand and foot, grabbed his angry friend, and said indifferently, "Curtis, don't be impulsive, I'm fine." Are you really alright?" Li Qing spread his hands. "Do you think I feel like something is wrong?" Rhys Williams stood up casually and said coldly, "Good luck for you this time." Curtis Jones was furious, pointed at Rhys Williams and shouted, "If Li has a 3 long and 2 short, you don't want to stay in Kirkby." Li Qing didn't wait for his friend to finish speaking, and said first, "This is a very common physical contact in the game, don't worry, I will find an opportunity to humiliate him properly." While speaking, his eyes were on Rhys Williams and Remy Savage, and the voice was relatively loud, enough for Rhys Williams and Remy Savage to hear. The meaning of the intention is already very obvious. Rhys Williams didn't smile angrily. "I'm looking forward to your next breakthrough with the ball, right, Remy?" Remy Savage smiled very happily. "That's right, I just don't know if some people dare to take the ball again." The two said and smiled at each other, retreated to the penalty area, participated in the team's defense. Li Qing pulled Curtis Jones, and whispered, "Just now I deliberately provoked them, you know, the echelon assessment is getting closer and closer. If I don't have a good performance, I can't stay in Kirkby." Curtis Jones rolled his eyes. "Everyone says I'm a stadium conspirator, so you are." Immediately, Li Qing ran to the right winger Leighton Clarkson. "Leighton, I will switch positions with you. You are at the front. I will get familiar with the feeling of taking the ball on the right." Leighton Clarkson usually has a bad relationship with Li Qing, nor is it bad, but Curtis Jones has a particularly good relationship with Li Qing, and he has to give some face, so he nodded his head. "Okay, but I can't stay long." "Okay." Head coach Tom Cashaw saw Li Qing and Leighton Clarkson exchange a few words and changed positions, and couldn't help but exclaim, "Li has become smarter." Gavin J sneered, "It's just a fear of physical contact with Rhys." "I can't say that, you think. If Li continues to have physical contact with Rhys or Remy, is it very uncomfortable to kick? Over time, he loses motivation to play, and he temporarily swaps places with Leighton, trying to change the way he plays, which it's the choice of smart people." Li Qing, who came to the right wing, is no longer closely guarded by his opponents, and often only needs to face the main left back of the echelon, Jack Walls. Although he has the talent, speed madness, and his feet seem to have infinite strength, it is difficult to exert a speed advantage in the face of Rhys Williams and Remy Savage closely watching, only on the wing with few personnel. After a while, the defender in the red vest switched from defense to attack, that is, Li Qing's side, and Curtis Jones, who won the ball, saw his friend Li Qing pull to the side to get a lot of space to get the ball, and did not hesitate to get up and make a long pass. The football fell precisely within Li Qing's control, and left back Jack Walls, who was not involved in the attack, rushed up in this yellow vest and tried to destroy the ball off the sideline before Li Qing could get it. Li Qing said silently in his heart, "Use the 5-star technology experience card." Between the electric flint, he felt as if he was integrated with the football flying in midair, and he could do whatever he wanted. So, he took the initiative to retreat and stop the football half a meter in front of him with his chest, and Jack Walls was stuck because of his position, so he changed to change. Li Qing jerked the football backwards with the instep of his right foot, and then with his left foot as the axis, he instantly completed a 180-degree turn backwards, changing from facing the offensive defense line with his back to facing the offensive direction. Episode 4. 3 big question marks instantly appeared above Jack Wall's head. How did Li Qing, who was still in front of him just now, complete his turn? Well, football overhead? He didn't have time to think about it, so he jumped on his knees and tried to push the ball back with his head. But Li Qing's backward soccer ball height just grazed over Jack Wall's head, and then he used his forehead to push the falling soccer ball towards the no-man's land of Pingchuan in everyone's shock. Feet quickly interlaced and pedaled on the ground, bursting with incredible speed. The U15 U16 echelon competition is to allow parents and ordinary players to watch the game, so many spectators gathered around this turf, and after seeing Li Qing's pick of the ball, they couldn't help but say, "Beautiful." Of course, Jack Wall's father couldn't get excited. Getting back to business, head coach Tom Kashaw looked at Li Qing, who was running faster and faster, subconsciously took 2 steps forward, did not even find his upper body probing across the sideline, and exclaimed, "The speed is really fast." Li Qing, wearing a red vest, was like a red lightning bolt, sweeping across the center line at high speed. Rhys Williams always focused on Li Qing. He saw Li Qing chasing the football at high speed, shocked and sneered in his heart, "Thought about me? No way." As he fought and retreated, Li Qing slowed down, and his feet kept shaking back and forth on the football, rolling forward about 2 meters away from Rhys Williams. "You want to shake me when you pedal your bike?" Rhys Williams said sarcastically with disdain. Although his tone was dismissive, his attention was always on football, and he was not affected by Li Qing's cycling. Li Qing had to admit in his heart that Rhys Williams was still a little brainy, knowing that he was waiting for teammates to support in an unfavorable situation to prevent more and less than he would. Li Qing obviously would not give Remy Savage a chance to assist in the defense. His left shoulder was sunk, his body gravity was tilted to the left side of his body, and the outer instep of his left foot was drawn towards the football. Rhys Williams' eyes froze, and he slammed to the right side of his body, in order to give Li Qing a little color. His left foot was very well pressed, and the shovel action was very large. However, at this moment, Li Qing's left foot outside the instep did not break through from the left side after dialing the football, but used the flexibility of the ankle, and used the inside of the instep to go around the direction of the football, and buckled hard, which is equivalent to buckling the football to the right side of the body. That is, the opposite direction of Rhys Williams' shovel. Flick the tail of the bull. This trick is the 5-star technical action in the FIFA game. Rhys Williams reacted quickly, thinking of using a good explosive force to twist the center of gravity, but the turf was very slippery, coupled with its absolute strength. The right foot grip of the power was insufficient, resulting in a slip under the foot and falling to the ground in front of dozens of people. However, at this time, few people's attention was on Rhys Williams. Everyone's attention was focused on Li Qing, who made the technical move of throwing the tail of the bull, and head coach Tom Kashaw became emotional. "That genius is back." "Oh." Dozens of spectators blurted out their surprise. Li Qing was not affected by the audience, and Remy Savage wanted to chase farther and farther, and could only watch Li Qing drive straight in with the ball. Facing Ben Williams, the main goalkeeper of the U15, U16 echelon, Li Qing chose to pedal a bicycle with a full of ornamentation, and then pushed the football into the empty goal. Li Qing, who scored the goal, did not show any excitement, as if it was no different from drinking water. This made Rhys Williams feel a great shame, and he glared at Li Qing and said cruelly, "It was just an accident just now, and the next. You can't break through me again." Li Qing, who high-fived Curtis Jones in celebration, did not speak, but raised his right hand and waved his index finger at Rhys Williams. "You are inferior." Rhys Williams was furious in his heart and wanted to use his fist to teach Li Qing, who did not understand the rules, but he was stopped by his partner Remy Savage. "Rhys, the assessment match is getting closer. Don't be impulsive. We will teach him a lesson later." "Good." The two reached out and shook hands. With the whistle, the game resumed. The yellow vest side threw a smooth pass to continue to pull the yellow vest side defense. About half a minute later, the red side from defense to attack. After a few passes, the football came to the feet of Curtis Jones. He did not make any adjustments, directly handed the football to Li Qing, who pulled to the right side of the attack. Jack Walls is absolutely responsible for conceding the ball on his side, so he chose to keep a safe distance for Li Qing on the pulling side. The corners of Li Qing's mouth turned up slightly, and he did not use the 5-star technology experience card, but ate Jack Wall's raw with the advantage of speed. A red lightning bolt passed by at high speed on the side, which surprised many parents and fans. How did this little guy run so fast? Jack Wall's tackle only kicked a cloud of air, and Rhys Williams, who had already focused on Li Qing during the transition from attack to defense, quickly approached, and his partner Remy Savage was responsible for the defense. Li Qing originally wanted to use the 5-star technology experience card, but he played many wild balls before crossing over, and he also experienced professional training when he was a child, and saw that the position of the two was not very good, and he poked the football forward on the tip of his left foot. 5-star technology experience card can save money. The football, which had been slowly rolling forward, instantly accelerated, rolling quickly between Rhys Williams and Remy Savage. Rhys Williams did not want to see Li Qing break through himself again, and he stopped sharply in place after fighting and retreating, kicked the ground with his right foot, and the whole person threw himself sideways to the left, wanting to stop Li Qing with a strong body, and also raised his elbow. But Li Qing's current speed has changed drastically, and Rhys Williams, who was doing his best, only hit the red vest raised behind Li Qing, and the center of gravity of his body without leaning is difficult to recover, and he fell directly to the ground. Li Qing was not affected in any way, and his feet quickly replaced the ground, chasing the football that had been poked out earlier. Remy Savage had no speed advantage, and he didn't expect that Li Qing would use the human ball to split this move, so he could only do very limited things, and could only watch Li Qing rush over at an incredible speed. Goalkeeper Ben Williams originally wanted to attack and solve the siege, but Li Qing was faster than he could have imagined, and he froze. To know that the goalkeeper's most fearful attack is to stop in place halfway through the attack, and it is this stop that gives Li Qing more choices. The shooting skills are not superb enough. He did not choose to hang, push and other high-tech shots. He chose to dangle the ball past Ben Williams like the first goal, and then send the ball into the empty goal. Brace. Episode 5. If one goal is a coincidence and an accident, then 2 goals mean that Li Qing does have a different ability. Snap, dash. Parents and Liverpool fans who stood on the sidelines and watched the game subconsciously burst into thunderous applause, cheering for Li Qing, who has contributed wonderful goals in a row. Most of the parents who came to the stadium to watch the training were Liverpool fans, so many people took out their mobile phones and constantly took pictures of Li Qing being able to score 2 visually striking goals in a row. The child's future is definitely bright, they are convinced. A few old fans over 60 seem to see the young Michael Owen and Raheem Sterling, who also had such wonderful performances when they were young. While Li Qing and his teammates celebrated the goal, some avid Liverpool fans posted the video they had just shot to social networks, so that more people could see the outstanding products of Liverpool's youth training. Head coach Tom Cashaw became emotional, and he raised his arms and gave Li Qing a high thumbs up. Scott Masson, a tactical analyst for the U18 youth team who came to the stadium, nodded his head and quietly wrote a line in his notebook. Red number 19, the speed is comparable to Michael Irving in his youth, with excellent ball sense, strong breakthrough ability. The calmness in front of the goal makes people feel strange, and the individual combat ability is extremely strong. After writing the technical characteristics of Li Qing, Scott Mason looked at the characteristics recorded in the notebook, and he was startled. Such a player, so likely to be buried in the U15, U16 echelon? It's long overdue to be promoted to the U18 youth team to play in the National Youth Super League and FA Youth Cup. Except for the weaker physical resistance, everything else is crushing. However, Scott Mason is an adult after all and quickly calms down. There is such a brilliant teenager in the U15, U16 echelon. Why did Tom Cashaw only report Rhys Williams, Curtis Jones, and Ryan Brewster? Other words. Li Qing, who scored 2 goals in a row, is likely to just meet this game to usher in an outbreak. Li Qing, who has scored twice, waved his index finger at Rhys Williams again on the way back, and the angry Rhys Williams did not try to beat Li Qing this time. He knew that there were many coaches watching on the sidelines. If he did it, then he was likely to say goodbye to the Liverpool Academy, so he clenched his fists and constantly hinted at himself in his heart. Calm down. Calm down, the next games will be fine. But the restart wasn't as good as Rhys Williams thought, and as long as the Reds got a chance to counterattack, the defense would be loud. Facing the extremely strong Li Qing, Huang Fang had no choice but to foul. In the next 10 minutes of the game, both sides scored, and Li Qing remained active and scored 2 more goals. Often pulled on both wings, his role in counterattacking is quite obvious. After all, young players of this age lack foul awareness. 2 minutes into the game, Li Qing received a long pass from his friend Curtis Jones on the left flank, and his dazzling technique at his feet using the 5-star technique experience card shook the remaining yellow right-back Daniel Itherton and right-back Remy Savage. The audience applauded Li Qing's performance, and also pointed their mobile phones at Li Qing, thinking of retaining this picture permanently. Rhys Williams complained in the process of fighting and retreating, not knowing what to do. Li Qing took the initiative to make a choice. He kept cycling around the football with his feet while slowing down. Rhys Williams was unmoved on the surface, but in fact he was panicked. Because Li Qing's every movement is very realistic, he has a feeling that no matter which side he throws into, Li Qing will move the football to the other side. Li Qing's right foot outside the instep jerked the football outward. Rhys Williams had no choice but to pounce on the left side of the body. At this moment, Li Qing stepped to follow the inside of the right instep to stop the ball in place. Rhys Williams had to stop in place. Li Qing didn't really stop in place, his right foot just landed, and the inside of the instep of his left foot slammed the football to the right front, and Rhys Williams had to start in place to prevent Li Qing from accelerating to break through. Many times the idea is good, but the reality is full of cruelty. Rhys Williams had just taken a step to cross the direction of Li Qing's breakthrough, but the crotch was cold, and the football was buckled between his legs by the inside of Li Qing's right foot, rolling towards the no man's land behind him. Wearing a crotch can be said to be the most hated way to pass people on the football field. Rhys Williams hates each other's passing. He is vicious, and wants to use violence to teach Li Qing to be a man. It's just that Li Qing is extremely fast, his right foot smash direction is very delicate, coupled with the explosive advantage of starting. By the time Rhys Williams made a step kick it was too late, he only kicked a cloud of air. Li Qing dunked the football to the right front on the inside of his left instep, that is, the arc top belt, and he faced goalkeeper Ben Williams again. Ben Williams was swung by Li Qing twice in a row to hit the empty door, and there was no confidence at all, and Li Qing took the initiative to fall to the ground before he had fully made a human move, so that Li Qing was a little surprised. The technical action has not been done before it is finished. Can it be professional? However, unexpectedly, Li Qing still laughed at Ben Williams' early disarming, and he played an empty goal again after dribbling the ball. Completed his 5th goal of the game. Goko Denko, ding! Congratulations to the host for completing the task of humiliating Rhys Williams, a stepping stone on the road to success with a goal, ding! Congratulations to the host for winning a random talent lottery, ding! Congratulations to the host for getting the attention from first-team manager Jurgen Klopp, ding! Since the host overcompletes the task, the talent, accurate shot, is rewarded. Episode 6. Li Qing, who scored the goal, was very excited, not that he was ecstatic to stage 5 Sun's Denko in this game, but the reward of the task was in hand. Plus, overcompleting missions gives you the talent that shooters want to have. Shoot with precision. He took a cursory look at the analysis of accurate shooting. The accuracy of shooting has been greatly improved, and the goal rate has been increased by an additional 10%. Current LV1, proficiency, 0 out of 10, note, goals in official matches at any level. Isn't such a talent tailor-made for strikers? Especially the extra goal rate added. The accuracy of its own shooting has been greatly improved, and with an additional increase in the scoring rate, can't the shooting technique be comparable to Messi and Ronaldo? Previously, facing goalkeeper Ben Williams, he was worried that the shooting accuracy was not enough, so he chose to cross the empty goal. Now with accurate shot, you can shoot directly against the goalkeeper. As for the latter note, he temporarily ignored it. After all, the current occasion is not very suitable for research. Head coach Tom Kashaw took the lead and raised his arms high and clapped his palms vigorously, and the parents and fans watching the game involuntarily clapped along to create a frenetic atmosphere. Listening to the thunderous applause, Li Qing was sincerely excited in his heart. This excitement is significantly different from receiving a systematic reward, because it is due to the public recognition of superb football skills. Li Qing, who crossed over, was not recognized from childhood to adulthood. When I was a child, I thought I was talented in football, but my parents didn't agree, so I had to follow thousands of troops across the single bridge, and the same was true after graduating from college. The recognition I have received now, the excitement in my heart is difficult to describe in words. Although there are only dozens of people who recognize it now, he knows that he will be recognized by more people in the future. Now the stage is small. Once you enter the Premier League and perform well, the attention and recognition you get is tens of millions, even hundreds of millions. That kind of stage is what Li Qing dreamed of. The mobile phone flash kept flashing, and Curtis Jones jumped on Li Qing's back excitedly, waving his fists, and shouted ecstatically, "Li, I know that you will not sink all the time, you are the hope of KOP." The excited Li Qing listened to the words of his friend Curtis Jones, and a rapidly flashed picture appeared in front of his eyes, which was about the memory of his predecessor. It turned out that the original owner of this body was a star trainee of the Liverpool Academy 4 years ago. Family changes led to his decadence and decay. It's a shame. Thinking of this, Li Qing clenched his fists and said silently, "Since the heavens let me occupy your body, then I have the responsibility to fulfill your common wish. Ride the greenery." I don't know if Li Qing was hallucinating. He seemed to hear a childish voice coming to his ears. "Thank you." "Who?" Li Qing asked in his heart, but no voice answered. The football stadium is a place where strength is respected. If you are strong, someone will be close to you, and if you have no strength, you will be looked down upon. A big reason why Li Qing has not had a good time in the U15 U16 echelon is that his strength has a slippery slope compared to the amazing U10 U12 age group, and now his performance is eye-catching, naturally winning those decent team friendships, so he has no time to pay attention to where the voice came from. Rhys Williams and Remy Savage looked at each other. The two had done their best to defend just now, but Li Qing's strength was too strong, and there was no way to do it. Li Qing, who celebrated the goal with his teammates, did not let Rhys Williams go. He playfully raised his right hand, first shook his index finger meaningfully, and then arrogantly raised 5 fingers. Meaning, you can't. All 5 of my goals in this game came from you. Rhys Williams was very upset by Li Qing scoring 5 goals alone, and now he is mocked in person. Where can he endure it? He stepped up with an arrow is a head-on punch. Li Qing has been prepared. He practiced Sanda for several years before crossing over, and gradually adapted to this body. He was very fast in his conscious reaction, sideways, dodged the fist, and kicked forward with his right foot, right in the knee of Rhys Williams. Rhys Williams, the whole person involuntarily fell forward, his face landed, and he ate a bite of grass clippings. Only then did the crowd react. Rhys Williams was put to the ground by the thin Li Qing effortlessly, and suddenly felt that his face was dull, and he quickly stood up with his hands and feet, ready to attack Li Qing with his fists again. But the echelon members had already reacted at this time and stopped Rhys Williams in unison. Li Qing was not afraid of Rhys Williams at all. He said coldly, "You can't win the ball, you can't win the fight. What is the meaning of you being alive? You." Rhys Williams was furious and wanted to push away his teammates who were blocking him. At this moment, head coach Tom Kashaw suddenly shouted, "Rhys Williams, what are you doing? If you can't kick, you have to do it. Who taught you? From today, you are no longer an echelon leader. That's right. Call your father over tomorrow, or don't think about staying in Cockby." Everyone was taken aback by Tom Kashaw, who usually behaved very gentlemanly, and Rhys Williams was only a 15-year-old after all, and after being drunk by the head coach, he stood in place, his head bowed and afraid to speak. Tom Kashaw then looked at Li Qing. His face was still very heavy, but his tone was different. "Li, don't be blinded because of a training match. Professional football is not as easy as you think. Wait until the training session is over to complete 50 push-ups before walking as punishment." "Got it, Mr. Tom." Li Qing could hear the kindness in Tom Kashaw's words and nodded obediently. As for the punishment of 50 push-ups, it is completely painless for football players. The match resumed after a few minutes of hiatus, and the attention increased geometrically as Li Qing scored 5 yuan in just over 10 minutes and became the yellow team's most feared player. But despite this, Li Qing, who has adult thinking ability, is very calm, super catching, and has a talent for accurate shooting, and he scored 2 more goals in the remaining game to help the red team win the game 8-4, which is equivalent to saying that Li Qing scored 7 yuan alone in this game and became the focus of the entire stadium. Episode 7. At the end of the inter-team game, the U15, U16 players left the Kirkby Training Academy like students after school, carrying their own bags. "Li, see you tomorrow." Curtis Jones waved goodbye to Li Qing, who had completed 50 push-ups, and left the court after his mother. "See you tomorrow." Watching the backs of Curtis Jones and his mother gradually fade away, Li Qing's mood became melancholy. Through the search of memory, he learned that the original owner of this body had a family change 4 years ago, and his parents died during a foreign trip, leaving him alive in this world with a competition mission at that time. Li Qing was not an orphan before crossing over, but he was no better than an orphan. His mother died early, and his father was a gambler. His mental adjustment ability is quite good, although he is alone, but at least now he has enough to eat the whole family. The death of both parents left him with £2 million and a nice apartment, which means that he can live a carefree life as long as he does not spend money indiscriminately. But now with the system, the future is certain. Being a professional player was Li Qing's wish when he was a child, and now with such an opportunity, isn't it better? He knew that this must be a heavenly arrangement. Just as Li Qing was carrying a Puma satchel to his home, U15, U16 echelon coach Tom Kashaw and U18 youth team tactical analyst Scott Mason were routinely reporting to youth director Inglethorpe on today's match. Young players such as Curtis Jones, Elia Bonner and Daniel Griffiths were the focus of the academy, and it was reasonable to perform well. But Tom Kashaw and Scott Mason submitted a written report not by a few people, but by a 15-year-old named Li Qing. Liverpool's youth director Inglethorpe looked at the report in his hand unexpectedly. Burst the combination of Rhys Williams and Remy Savage? Kind of interesting. According to the strength of the two, even if they are the main substitutes in the U18 youth team, a 15-year-old can score 7 goals alone under their partner, and the potential to cultivate is no less than that of Curtis Jones, Ryan Brewster, and Ben Woodburn. It's just that. How could such a super-capable player not have heard of it before? Tom Kashaw had a good ability to see, and explained the reason to the supervisor, Inglethorpe. After a while, Inglethorpe nodded his head. If you want to become a professional footballer is not as simple as you think. You must have an iron will and an unyielding spirit. If this little player named Li can really get out of the sinking, the future will definitely be promising, and pay more attention to him in the next game. Speaking of this, he looked at Tom Kashaw again. "Tom, is there any video recording of this game?" I want to see how he performs. Tom Kashaw took out the USB flash drive that had been prepared long ago from his bag and put it on the table. This is a video of the whole game. When Tom Kashaw and Scott Mason left the academy director's office in the office building, Inglethorpe inserted the USB stick into the computer and watched the 40 minutes of the U15 U16 echelon. At the beginning, the game had no watch value, until there was a brief pause in the game, and the stunned Red 19 seemed to change his personality and gradually became active, especially his superior ball intelligence. Know to seek opportunities when you are defended to death, and use your fast speed and good foot skills to cooperate with the team to play defensively. The speed is superior, the ball sense is excellent, the breakthrough ability is extremely strong, and the calmness in front of goal is amazing. These 4 characteristics are very common in different professional players, but when they are all concentrated in one person, they become different. Knock knock. At this moment, the office door rang. Inglethorpe's eyebrows jumped, and his voice was a little displeased. Who? It's me, Jurgen. Inglethorpe's expression changed suddenly, quickly changed his expression, and personally opened the office door, laughing. What kind of wind blew our first team head coach here? Klopp looked sad and shrugged his shoulders. You also know that there are a lot of injuries in the first team now, and Sadio Mane will play in the Africa Cup of Nations again in January next year. I want to ask if you have a good young striker recommendation. Ben Woodburn, Harry Weilerson, Alexander Arnold, and Glenn McCauley can all try. It's just. It seems that you are more demanding. Inglethorpe spread his hands and expressed helplessness. Don't you have that kind of young player with more distinctive characteristics? Klopp said, his eyes naturally put on the display screen where the video was still playing on Inglethorpe's desk, and he saw that there was an extremely fast red vest player using speed and technology to eat 2 defensive players, and he subconsciously blurted out, "Beautiful." The player was full of speed, but instead of relying on the speed advantage to pass the defender's central defender, he used realistic feints to shake the center of gravity of the defender before facing the goalkeeper. The next choice was not hasty, very calm, and crossed the goalkeeper to hit the empty goal. Klopp has been keen to coach young players since he started coaching Mainz, and coaching Borussia Dortmund has fanned a storm of youth, watching young players with extremely reasonable technical movements come to the interest. Inglethorpe is also full of interest. Such an outstanding young player, in time, will definitely be used by the first team. The video continued to play. Klopp and Inglethorpe stared intently, until Li Qing won 5-1 alone. Klopp's left hand pressed the spacebar, the picture froze, his eyes were full of excitement, and his finger pointed at the goal. This is? Inglethorpe shrugged his shoulders and said, this is a small player in the U15, U16 echelon, not for you. Oh? Is it the U15, U16 echelon? Klopp's excited look was gradually replaced by regret. It's really not suitable for the first team. When the next team forward was hit by injuries and the 15 or 16-year-old could not shoulder the responsibility of the first team game, Klopp sighed in his heart, and as he was about to leave, he asked again, by the way, Alex, what's the name of this little guy? Inglethorpe looked down at Li Qing's resume and said truthfully, Qing Li, local household registration book, Chinese descent. Li? Chinese? The corners of Klopp's mouth turned up slightly. It's kind of interesting. Although the teenager in the game video is only 15 or 6 years old, as long as he grows fast enough, he can enter the first team. Aren't Mario Götze, who coached Dortmund, and Ben Woodburn and Alexander Arnold, who coached Liverpool? Li Qing is not suitable for the first team at present. Who will say what will happen in the future? Aren't superstars like Pelé, Maradona, Ronaldo, Messi, Wayne Rooney, and so on all young and famous? In Klopp's heart, he has consciously paid attention to a Chinese named Li Qing. Episode 8. Li Qing returned to his strange and familiar home without having any more thoughts to lament the past, and he directly focused all his attention on the green legend system that he had just obtained today. As soon as his mind moved, a floating light curtain appeared about 3 meters in front of his eyes, showing the main page of the system, with a 3D back of a football player in the background. The main page of the system is divided into 5 sections, which are personal attributes, tasks, training grounds, talents, and mall. As soon as Li Qing's thoughts were transmitted to the system, the light curtain suspended in front of him instantly switched to a personal attribute page. All offense, defense, body awareness. Height, 169 cm. Weight, 51 kilograms. Position, forward. Strong, 39. Fitness, 50. Tips, 62. Ejaculation, 80. Shooting power, 50. Headers, 53. Long shot, 46. Free kick, 50. Penalties, 80. Sprint speed, 82. Acceleration, 84. Bounce, 62. Flexible, 65. Balance, 72. Shovel breaks, 34. Steals, 40. Card slots, 50. Eye-catching, 55. Dribble, 56. Possession, 55. Short pass, 60. Crosses, 54. Long biography, 55. Run without the ball, 68. Creativity, 70. Field of view, 62. Reactions, 74. Tiltability, 50. Willpower, 85. GK saves, 29. Ability points can be added, 10. Inventory, 5-star technology experience card *5. Number of draws, 1. Gold, 0. Strength assessment, professional C level, up to SSS level. Note, can play as the main player of the middle and upper divisions / substitute for the championship team in the second division league outside the 5 major leagues in Europe. Li Qing looked down from above and found that the 30 attributes of the individual were divided into 4 sub-items, that is, the attack, defense, body and consciousness of the upper edge of the attribute. Attacks are divided into shooting power, headers, long-range shots, free kicks, penalties, dribbling, possession, short passes, crosses and long passes. Defense is divided into tackles, jams, staring, and GK saves. The body is divided into strength, physical fitness, bounce, sprint speed, acceleration, flexibility, balance, vision and reflexes. Consciousness is divided into running without the ball, creativity, dedication, and willpower. In the 4 attribute subcategories, except for the 80 in which shooting, penalty, sprint speed, acceleration, and willpower are at the excellent end, most attributes are below 60. But such a total attribute is quite excellent for a 15-year-old. After a while, Li Qing's mood gradually returned to normal, and he switched the screen to the task section. The task section is divided into active collection and passive stimulation, such as, humiliate Rhys Williams, is passive, and there are many active tasks that can be received, such as, promoted to the U18 echelon within a week, promoted to the U18 echelon within 1 month, promoted to the U18 echelon within half a year, and so on. Overall, the shorter the timeline, the greater the rewards. For example, the task rewards for promoting the U18 echelon within a week are quite rich, and you can get a random talent lottery opportunity once. Well, seeing the talent lottery, Li Qing suddenly remembered that there was a random talent lottery opportunity after completing the task of humiliating Rhys Williams. In addition, there is a random gain of the division attribute. But then he hesitated because he didn't know where the random gain was chosen. Division attribute buff positions are divided into center, second forward, winger, central midfielder, fullback, front back, fullback, central defender, and goalkeeper. Of course, Li Qing's hesitant position has nothing to do with the central midfield. To be precise, it is hesitation between center, second striker, winger, and forward. The main attributes of each position are different. He had a hunch that the division attribute gain chosen this time would affect the future career trend. There is only one opportunity, and it must be carefully considered. After thinking for more than half an hour, Li Qing finally chose the winger. At present, the hottest Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi in world football are playing wingers. The hottest post-90s Neymar is also a winger. Super prodigy Mbappé is also a winger, and he is still a winger in the confrontation today. The most concerned thing in football is always the goal scorer. If the winger's main attribute can get a buff, it will go further on this road. But then again, the winger needs speed as a support. Li Qing's sprint speed and acceleration are already quite high, and the effect of the gain may not be maximized. What should I do? Just when Li Qing didn't know how to be good, a voice from the system came. It is recommended that the host use the talent random lottery first. Yes. Li Qing slapped his forehead sharply, and then his heart moved. Use random talent lottery opportunities. At the same time, in front of the attribute background page, a large lottery wheel appears, which is divided into a total of 16 grids, and each grid displays. This means that the answer can only be revealed until the end of the draw. Start turning. The pointer staying in the direction of 12 o'clock instantly goes from a stationary state to a state of motion, and the speed of the needle rotation changes from slow to fast, and then from fast to slow, and finally stays in the direction of 7 o'clock. Ding! Congratulations to the host for obtaining the talent. Not easy to be injured. The system prompt sounded. Li Qing felt that there were slight changes in his body, but he didn't know what the specific changes were. But it didn't matter. The important thing was that the explanation of the talent, not easy to be injured, noun had explained everything. Less likely to be injured. The body is strengthened and the chance of injury is greatly reduced. What are the biggest factors that affect the success of professional players? It's an injury. Not to mention world football, athletes in any sport are most worried about injuries. Once targeted by injuries, it is almost impossible to climb to the top of your career. Countless heavenly pride were not defeated by their opponents, but by injuries. Only in good health is it possible to pursue success in a sports career. Talent, not easy to get injured, is difficult to bring choices, and after some consideration, finally choose to gain the winger attribute. It doesn't matter if it's fast enough, it's enough for other positions to be strengthened. Moreover, the stars he likes are all wingers. Episode 9. Select Winger Attribute Buff. Does the host determine the random gain of the selection winger attribute? In front of Li Qing's eyes, two options appeared, OK, and reselect. Without hesitation, he firmly chose OK. Host selects winger attribute random gain, data initialization in progress. After about 5 seconds, the system tone came again, winger data initialization completed. The personal attributes presented in front of Li Qing's eyes have been refreshed, and the main attributes of several wingers have changed significantly. The sprint speed and acceleration were very high due to the talent, speed madness, and the growth was not much, rising by 3 points respectively to 85 and 87. The main attributes of wingers, such as physical fitness, dribbling, ball control, crossing, running without the ball and creativity, have been significantly increased, with physical fitness increased from the original 50 to 65, dribbling from the original 56 to 68, ball control from the original 55 to 66, cross from 54 to 61, running without the ball from the original 68 to 70, and creativity from the original 70 to 75, which is equivalent to a 58-point increase in attribute random gain. You must know that obtaining 58 ability points is a difficult kind of problem that requires completing more than 10 active collection tasks. Immediately, he looked at the refreshed personal attributes again. All offense, defense, body awareness, height, 169 cm, weight, 51 kilograms, position, forward, strong, 39, fitness, 65, tips, 62, ejaculation, 80, shooting power, 50, headers, 53, long shot, 46, free kick, 50, penalties, 80, sprint speed, 85, acceleration, 87, bounce, 62, flexible, 65, balance, 72, shovel breaks, 34, steals, 40, card slots, 50, eye-catching, 55, dribble, 68, possession, 66, short pass, 60, crosses, 61, long biography, 55, run without the ball, 70, creativity, 75, field of view, 62, reactions, 74, tiltability, 50, willpower, 85, GK saves, 29, ability points can be added, 10, inventory, 5-star technology experience card *5, number of draws, 0, gold, 0, strength assessment, professional B, note, can play as the main team in the top league outside the 5 major European leagues / substitute for the relegation team in the 5 major leagues. Although most of Li Qing's 30 attribute values were gray, he believed that over time, he would definitely increase all of them to red or even purple. Note, the attribute values show gray is below 60, black is 60-69, blue is 70-79, red is 80-89, and purple is 90-99. The number of draws is used up, and there are 10 additional ability points. So, the choice difficulty is committed again. After another half hour of hesitation, all 10 ability points were finally added to strong, bringing it to 49 points. Drawing the talent, not easy to get injured, only greatly reduces the chance of injury, but does not increase the physical confrontation ability. In order to be able to win the physical confrontation in the next match, the body becomes stronger and becomes more urgent. If you want to enter the first team, your body is the first test. As the most physically important league in the world, the Premier League must bring the body to a stage where it can be fought frequently as soon as possible, otherwise it will be futile to have it even if it is not easy to be injured. Time passed quickly, 2 or 3 hours passed in a blink of an eye. During this time, Li Qing basically understood the personal attribute section, the task section, the training ground section, the talent section, and the shopping mall section. The training ground allows Li Qing to enter the system for self-training, and the time ratio is 1:4, that is, 1 hour in the real world and 4 hours in the system. The training ground has intensive training for each attribute, such as increasing the strong value. You can practice perseverance in the gym of the training ground. However, the efficiency of self-use equipment training is very low. According to the system prompts, Li Qing can hire a simulation coach through the system mall, but Li Qing now does not have the system mall to consume gold coins. It is worth mentioning that the simulation coach hired by the system mall can be selected independently, very user-friendly, and the same as the navigation voice package of AMAP, you can use those world-famous male and female stars as fitness trainers. As for the price, it is sold at different prices according to influence and popularity, like Li Qing's favorite female star Qinyuqi before crossing is 10 gold coins. In addition to the fitness instructor, the humanization of the system is reflected in the entire training ground section. Of course, the role is only reflected in professional training, as for other bad ideas can never be implemented. According to the system, once you do something illegal, you will be subject to capital punishment. Li Qing is not so hungry. Besides, with his current conditions, what kind of woman will not be found in the future? Finally, he focused on the talent plate. As soon as his mind moved, the picture in front of him changed instantly, and the upper left corner of the light curtain displayed the two big characters of talent. Talent is not much different from individual attributes. The only difference is that the four subdisciplines have become two, that is, divided into offensive defense and body awareness. So far, Li Qing has three talents, namely, speed madness, accurate shooting, and not easy to hurt. Speed maniacs and accurate shots are offensive/defensive talents, and not easy to get injured are physical/conscious talents. In the two talent columns, there are also many squares that display question marks. Through the punctuation learns that these question mark square grids are not activated by the talent. As for how to activate the talent, the system did not say clearly, so he asked, "System, in addition to the lottery, is there any other way to obtain talent?" The system voice came into Li Qing's ears after a few seconds. There are three ways to obtain talent. The first is that the host actively receives the task with the talent lottery reward. The second is the host passively triggers the task. And the third is that the host has a chance to activate the talent after reaching 80. After the value of an attribute reaches 80, the higher the value, the higher the chance of activating the talent. Li Qing tapped his head and fully explained the digestive system. That is to say, talent is linked to attribute values, whether it is to complete the task of actively owning the talent lottery or completing the passive trigger task. The talent obtained is directly reflected in the attribute value. However, after the attribute value reaches 80, it is the same whether it is activated or not, because the ability has arrived. Just like students who are partial subjects, isn't the reason why they are partial subjects that the learning brought by a certain talent is twice as effective with half the effort? As the saying goes, the ability is insufficient, the talent comes together. Episode 10. Li Qing's mind moved slightly. The picture was transformed into a personal attribute page. Looking at the conspicuous data, his mood became excited, especially when he saw that the strength assessment was a career B level. His mood became more surging. After the assessment of strength, there is also a line of note that, according to the above, he can now play as a main player in the top league contenders outside the 5 major European leagues or as a substitute in the relegation teams of the 5 major leagues. Such a quality assessment means that he can play as a main player in teams such as Ajax, Porto, and Benfica. As for the replacement of the relegation teams in the 5 major leagues, it is not in his consideration, because there is a saying that is very true. Rather make chicken heads, not phoenix tails. However, Li Qing's mood is still excited. Playing in the professional league, that was his past life wish. So, he asked the system, with the strength I want to be, can I get a chance to play in Liverpool's first team? Can't. The system's answer is clean and neat. Li Qing was speechless. Although he had been mentally prepared for a long time, he was still a little disappointed to hear the direct reply from the system. The next words of the system lit up the way forward in his heart. The system's strength assessment is a general evaluation based on the host's attributes. The real professional game is cruel. With the host's current physical strength is not enough to be competent for the professional league. If you barely play, it is likely to play doubtful life. This sounds quite shocking, but from the side, as long as the body is strong enough, you can play in the professional league. Therefore, Li Qing's next task is to focus on physical training and tasks for obtaining ability points. Aim to raise your physical strength to pass. The current strength value is 49, which is only 11 points away from passing. Say more, not more. Say less, no less. There are many active tasks that reward ability values in the mission section, and the training ground and real-world gym also have training means to increase strength. So there are two paths in front of Li Qing. The first is to take it gradually, and the second is to desperately complete the task and strive to make the body meet the requirements of the professional league as soon as possible. For the two choices, Li Qing is somewhat difficult to choose. However, between the electric flint, he made the most accurate choice. It was hard to cross. Why not work hard? What about becoming the strongest post-0 star? In the 5th mall on the main page of the system, Li Qing is not interested in studying for the time being, because he does not have a system to consume gold coins now. Even if he goes to see it, he is only a dry stare, and the consumption of gold coins is obtained by completing tasks. Why bother? By the time his attention returned to reality from the Green Legend system, and the time had come to 10 o'clock in the evening, his stomach was already rumbling with hunger. Since both parents of this body died in a traffic accident 4 years ago, they have to cook their own food and clothing. Fortunately, there are still a few packets of instant noodles and a few hams in the refrigerator, and after a simple treat, sit on a chair on the balcony, overlooking the bustling night view of Liverpool city centre. Before crossing, Li Qing dreamed of travelling abroad once, but his wallet was not enough to bulge, from the original global travel goal to Asian travel, and then changed to domestic travel, but he was really shy, and finally even the planned provincial tour had to become a city tour, but I don't know why. Now crossing to Liverpool does not have any excitement. Maybe. Is it influenced by the original owner of this body? The next day, Li Qing went to the Blue Clothes Middle School, because he is still a junior high student. Professional football is brutal, with a knockout rate of 90%, and Liverpool's Kirkby Academy requires young players to develop intellectually and physically in order to give young players who may be eliminated a good future in the future. Each age group in front of the U18 tier trains twice in midweek and one game on the weekend, with one league in the Northern English U15 U16 age group played every 2 weeks. Li Qing, who graduated from college many years ago, felt a little awkward to come to the Blue Middle School with a school bag again, but Kirkby Youth Academy has clear requirements that each echelon player must complete the course, otherwise he will not be put on the official competition list. If you can't make the roster, then no matter how big your talent is, you can't use it. Of course, such rules are only for echelon players with ordinary qualifications, and super geniuses like Li Qing with systematic assistance are promising wherever they are placed. When Li Qing came to the classroom, several blonde boys and girls scoffed at him, and he ignored it, just sitting in his own place according to the information in his previous memory, looking at this familiar and unfamiliar environment. Li, I watched the game at Kirkby yesterday afternoon, it's great. Just as Li Qing looked around, a freckled boy came over and said excitedly. Li Qing knew this freckled boy, named Tom, a very friendly Liverpool local, who got along well with each other and was one of the few good friends of the original owner of this body. His voice was not very loud, but it was loud enough to be heard by every classmate in a quiet classroom. Most of the students attending this school are Liverpool or Everton fans. Most of them are Liverpool fans, and the genes of the boys and girls who just sneered at Li Qing are all from Everton fan families. Li Qing waved his hand with a smile, and blurted out the standard English, regular operation, don't care too much. Tom gave a high thumbs up and said aloud, I'll be watching the game at Kirkby this weekend, come on. Saying that, he said to the classmates again, who will go to Kirkby with you on the weekend? Let's cheer for Li together. In addition to the classmates of the Everton factor in the blood snorted coldly, most of them readily agreed. Today's information spreads very fast. Li Qing's match highlights yesterday were released by fans that night, as a classmate is watching the blood boiling, as if seeing another Messi. Li Qing shook his head and smiled, and was about to thank Tom, when the tip of his nose suddenly smelled a refreshing fragrance. This fragrance was not the smell of artificially created perfume, but the natural jasmine fragrance. He subconsciously turned his head and saw a beautiful face appear in front of him, fair skin, delicate facial features, and a faint smile seemed to be able to melt all the glaciers in the world. For a moment, I was a little dumbfounded. Hey, how do you feel? A little like the female star Zhao Qianbon you liked in your previous life. Note, I haven't written in Feilu for a long time. I was scared by the message. I was afraid of being 404. And I used this instead. Soon, Li Qing had information about the girl in front of him in his mind, and suddenly, the corners of his mouth twitched slightly. This girl is really called Zhao Qianbon.